Hey y'all, this is Sam with the Roots of Change Agency, and it is Captain's Log Day 61. We are back in the Bay in San Francisco. We've got the skyline behind us and the wonderful Salesforce Tower there reminding us that big tech overlords are still here and still trying to trap us in their algorithms. And so I wanted to talk today about how we went on this trip. I'm going to talk about my life experiences, and a lot of those life experiences are going to have public figures that you are aware of, but I'm not going to share anyone else's story. This is my story. I want to share my reflections, what I have experienced out on the road, out on the campaign trail in 2024, 2022, 2020, all of the different elections that I've done, as well as my experience growing up inside Christian nationalism in Dallas, Texas, and my experience with big tech. I grew up wanting to write stories, creating stories, crafting stories. I wanted to be a filmmaker. And I went to school for film. I went to school for the radio, television, and film. I also went to school for advertising, and I minored in business. And I really wanted to craft stories. But I also knew that crafting stories as someone who looks like me would be really hard. And I wanted to have some financial stability. So I went into advertising. And advertising is definitely about stories. It's also about data. It's also about people. It's about society. It's about understanding how we all work so that we can sell things back to you. And so I really want to open that door to understand what is advertising, what is media, what is tech, what is marketing, communications, and ultimately, what is storytelling? Because these guys out here in Silicon Valley, in San Francisco, the Richmond, north of Richmond, all want to tell a specific story about how the world is. And I reject that story. And so I want to show you what I have experienced in the belly of the beast, in big tech. I have worked for so many of the companies that are now influencing our world and have been influencing our world. I have worked with Meta and Google and all of the different big tech companies for 15 years. I took the first ever digital advertising course ever to be offered in the United States. And so I have seen tech and digital and media evolve before my eyes. I grew up before the internet. I remember the early days of the internet. I remember the early days of social media. And I know that we can do better. I know we can build healthy tech. I know we can build healthy media. And we just have to wrest it from these grips of these men, the Richmond, north of Richmond, the big tech bros, because we are amazing. We are human. We contain multitudes. We are creative, and we can build a better world. We just need to get these guys out of the way. And so my bear and I, my corgi and I have been on the road for 61 days to really expose what the media and tech are not talking about, to show you what it's like to live in this country right now. What is it like to be in Donald Trump's America? And we're going to dig into the history. We're going to talk about what it's like, what Turtle Island was like before the colonizers, and what it is now like, how we have evolved, how have our ancestors been impacted by this world, and how are we now acting? Because we can build our own agency, we can build change, but we do have to get to the roots to build our own agency, to create that change. No matter who you are, if you are MAGA, if you are a radical leftist, if you are a liberal, if you are a moderate, if you reject any label, I invite you to come on this trip. You can come and sit anywhere you want in this Jeep. If you want to put your headphones on and be grumpy in the back, you are welcome to do that. If you want to be a know-it-all in the front, come on and become a Seedling member and join in on the comment section. You tell us about your history. Tell us about what you know about this country. You can sit in the front seat. You just have to contend with a little corgi. But we can do this together, and so I really hope that you join me on this trip today and throughout the fall, because I believe in us. I believe in us. And I'm here to say in 2025 that I have been running, I have been hiding. I have been told by so many people who I am and how I fit into this world, and I am ready to say who I am and how I fit into this world, because I am a queer, Latino, white, indigenous, two-spirit woman. And I am proud of all of those identities, and I am proud of how they have shaped me, because we are here in California, which is Spanish and Mexican territory too. And all of my ancestors are here, and we're gonna talk about how we create change in this world and how we love and support and build back Turtle Island for all of us. So, I am not running anymore. I am turning to face big tech, and I am ready to be that matador against big tech, because they don't get to control our lives. They do not get to control this world. We are taking this world back, and I hope that you join me in that, because I really do want to support you. I want to make sure that we can build community and that we can build healthy media and healthy tech, because we deserve healthy stories. We deserve stories about ourselves. We deserve indigenous stories and Latino stories and Asian stories and Black stories and even white stories. Like, let's dig deeper into all of that. We can tell the stories that liberate us. So if you are telling stories to liberate, come to the Roots of Change Agency, because we are here to support you. We have a ton of free resources, a ton of resources for your communications, for your tech, and just to be a little bit more strategic and a little bit more grounded in this moment. We're gonna have resources for your activism, and we're gonna support you through the mental and emotional shit that is this world right now. Because we need to build that comprehensive support for ourselves and for each other. And I want to help you do that by not breaking your fucking bank account, because Lord fucking knows that these guys are building the biggest wealth gap we've ever seen in the history of this world. And so that's why all of our resources are incredibly affordable. Most things are free. If they're not free, it starts at $2 a month and then goes to like $10. That's the max. And if you do have means and you want to support us and you want to support organizations and activists and communicators and people who are doing this work on the ground, come check out our Assistant Activist program, because it is designed to help get resources into the hands of the organizations that need it the most. And if you have resources yourself, become a flowering member and submit those resources, and we will feature them all across our network, because we need to get people the resources that they need. You probably have something very special. You have a superpower that no one else has. And so we're here to help bring that up for you and to make sure that people know about it. Because a lot of this was also about showing that we can move away from tech. We don't have to be over-reliant on tech, and that we can break free from a lot of what big tech has to offer and build healthier tech. Because a lot of that is already being built and it's growing, and we just need to start feeding those plants instead of the unhealthy, rotting tree of big tech. And so when it comes to our travel, we did not at all use the systems in this Jeep. I did not plug in my phone into the CarPlay system at all. which I'm very grateful for, because at the end of our trip, there was a whole software update and I did not have permission. It just started updating without my permission. A lot of this trip was about seeing if we could travel without big tech, without tech tracking us, and understanding our entire footprint. Because as we know, a lot of these big tech companies are starting to work with the military. They are working with ICE. They are getting all of these huge contracts because they have all of our data. They know everything that we are doing. They are tracking our pizza orders. They are tracking where we go in our car. They are tracking how much we spend on our credit cards and how much debt we have. They are tracking literally everything. And so I wanted to go on this trip to really see if we could do it without big tech. Can we limit our footprint? And the answer was kind of. The answer is that big tech is very much trying to tighten its grip. They are trying to build a surveillance state in the United States and pretty much all across the world and the West. And we're going to talk about that throughout these different parts of the country, because we're here in San Francisco and we have robot cars driving around this city that are capturing every single camera angle, and that is really bad. And San Francisco is not the worst place. There are a lot of other places that are really enhancing their cybersecurity right now, and it's not in cities. It's also in rural communities. It's also in the middle of nowhere. And so we're going to talk about that, and we're going to get into how big tech is influencing our world and how we can limit our footprint, how we can build healthy tech, how we can move away from big tech and build our own agency, have more independence, have more freedoms. Big tech is trying to tighten its grip. They are building their Christian nationalist techno-authoritarianism, and they are moving quickly. And we can build back our agency by taking back our data, taking back our content, and taking back our security and our freedoms. We're going to have different stories and different episodes each week. On Monday, we're going to release the regular episodes, which are really going to dig into history and politics and Turtle Island in general, the deeper layers of this history before colonization and after colonization. And then on Fridays, we're going to talk a lot more about big tech and my experience in advertising and how that relates to where we are today. Because there is a lot that we can learn in terms of our media and our tech and advertising and marketing, and how that relates to white supremacist capitalist patriarchy, as bell hooks would say. We're also going to talk about some of our ancestral leaders, our movement leaders, bell hooks, Audre Lorde, and a lot of other folks. We've got Harvey Milk here in the city. There are a lot of other amazing historical figures that we have touched on throughout this journey. We got to go to Harriet Tubman's Underground Railroad and see where she grew up and the amazing power and strength that she had inside to say, I'm not going to take it anymore, and we are going to have freedom. I'm going to be free. I'm going to liberate myself. And that's what Harriet Tubman did. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to do it together. We're going to build our collective power. We're going to build our collective action against big tech and for a world that we can believe in. Because there's a lot of folks out here that want a better world, and I'm going to open that up to you. We're going to pop the bubble of the social media algorithms. We're going to step out of our little bubbles and see everyone else in this country for what it is. And we're going to uncover what it's really like to be in the United States in 2025, in Trump's America. Because there's a lot of stuff that the media is telling us. There's a lot of stuff that our Democratic Party, the Republican Party, and big tech are telling us. And a lot of those things are lies. We are not being told the full truth of this country, and we are not being shown what it's really like on the other side of the aisle. And so I want to talk about that. I want to talk about the radical leftists, the liberals, the MAGA folks, the rhinos, whatever you want to call yourself. We're going to dig into this, and we're going to talk about what it's really like to be in this country, apart from labels, apart from the red versus blue of our political system. there's a lot for us to uncover and a lot for us to connect with. A lot of this trip is about building those bridges and building ways for action. Activism is a way for us to build that action, and we've lost a lot of that because of these systems have trapped us in protesting or voting, and we can do so much more than that. So we're going to expose what the media and what big tech do not want us to know about, which is how do we build real change in this world right now? How do we listen to the ancestors that came before us and the folks who are doing the work on the ground right now? I'm really excited to share with you the collaborators that we work with at the Roots of Change Agency all the time, as well as the amazing organizations who are Black and Brown led, Indigenous led, trans, queer led, and they are doing amazing work right now, but we need to know about them. They need our support. And so we're gonna bring those folks on. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna expose the roots of this world so that we can build our agency for change. So I hope that you join us on this trip. It has been an amazing, life-changing 61 days. I am so proud of who I am and where I come from because of this trip. All right, this is our final video. I am going to turn this car in and take a long nap, cook some food, and start editing. We're gonna have fun editing and building these stories for you. I hope you come back next week to see where we head next. But we have a ton of different stops for you all throughout this country, and we hit them right when they needed to be. So we were right there when the Texas flooding happened, we were right there when the National Guard was deployed in Washington, D.C., and so many other things. So come join us, come listen, come watch, and subscribe to the Roots of Change Agency at rootschangemedia.com.